Story time! We have to talk about this. You're like, I don't know how to be normal about this. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, so yeah, I went to Epic Cons 3 last weekend, and I met Kat Graham for the second time, finally met Chris Wood, and got to, be around all the Gemini in one place. Be so for real right now. I'm never gonna recover, are we joking? Looked my hyperfixation family in the eyes. How does one return to normal life now? I don't know, but I am home safe, so let's just get into it. This is gonna be long. I'm gonna ramble. Put it on 2x speed and relax, alright? Get a snack, I don't know. Do something, just enjoy. So I want to start by saying that I had some issues last time at the convention with registration and getting to things on time, and the lines were just insane. I can't stress that enough, okay? I was only there for one of the days. I think it was also Friday last time. But it was slam-packed. We felt like sardines. The lines were crazy. The, walking around was crazy. It was very, very intense. They changed up the registration stuff, and it was so much better. For me personally, my registration took 15 minutes. I had everything I needed done so quickly. Also, changed the beginning of the day. So when I went last time, panels started at 10, registration started at 9. So a lot of people were late or still in the registration lines because they were insane. Can't stress that enough. This time around, stuff didn't start until 11. So there was plenty of time for everybody to get settled, get checked in. I went alone again, but I did make some really, really sweet friends. Shout out to Priscilla. Girl, you made my day. If anybody else sees this that I happen to run into and you recognize me, please say hi down below so we can connect, because I didn't exchange numbers with anybody. I always forget to do that. I don't do Instagram very well. I forget, okay? It's a wonder I asked any of you your names. Priscilla and I had a 15-minute conversation before we introduced ourselves. Don't let anybody tell you that climate change isn't real, because Georgia decided to have a heat wave first weekend of April. It was insane. My hair was 3 sizes too big. My first ticket of the day was for 11:30 for the BonKai photo, and then I was going to go right from there to the 12 o'clock Gemini panel, because, if any family's going to get me out in 89-degree weather, it's going to be the Parkers. But I'm hanging out in the, photo booth autograph room area. It's a big warehouse is what's coming to mind. That's not right. It's a big empty space with concrete floor. The floor is awful. Jesus, there's nothing they can do about that, but it's so bad if you're in there all day. I don't know how the actors handle that. Meet and greets and selfies, and I think a handful of autographs did start earlier than that. Everything started at 9-ish, depending on what it was that you were doing. So Chris started his day with his meet and greet, and then came to the venue area to do selfies. So I'm sort of in the general vicinity of his booth, kind of going back and forth in my head, do I want to do that? Because I had already bought my other tickets, and his prices are a little bit more expensive, but I knew there wasn't really merch that I wanted. So I was if I'm going to do any other ticket, it'll be the selfie ticket with him, because that's the only one I'm not doing. And so I'm standing there, and I'm contemplating it, and I'm not paying attention to the time, and I'm not paying attention to my surroundings, clearly, because all of a sudden, I hear his voice behind me, and I'm you're joking right now. Literally just walking up behind where we were standing in line. My brain short-circuited so instantly. I have had a crush on Kai Parker since 2016. That is almost a decade of my life dedicated to that little magic sucker. Are you joking right now? So I hear his voice, and I'm oh, instantly I know that, yeah, I'm gonna need to do the selfie, because I'm not chill. I'm not chill anymore, I'm not cool, and I gotta get that under control before I go through the rest of my day, because I would love to be normal by the time we get to the autograph table, so that I can talk to him about the book that I have come all this way to give him. So I get in line for the selfie, and very quickly, I'm wow, he's as nice and kind and sweet as everybody says he is, which, honestly, I really didn't have any doubts there, because if you've seen any fan interactions with him, you know what I'm talking about. He just seems so genuine, so sweet. I know we don't know him personally, but oh my god, he makes it so hard not to be parasocial. He is just, I can't. Now, because I didn't have a ticket already, I hung back to the end of the line, let everybody else go first, and then I was able to buy mine and get in line for real. The lady, when I get to her, he had stopped, because I'm you know, buying it and taking a second. So he wasn't like standing in position anymore. He was like drinking or something. So I'm like out of the corner of my eye seeing him, but I'm talking to the lady and she's like, oh yeah, put your bags right here, like talking to her, and then sort of like turned to him. He's still like drinking and he's immediately like, oh my God, let me do my job. And I'm like, what? You're so fine. My guy, my man, calm, breathe. Lively gave him a bracelet that says here's to being different, which is one of my favorite Kai quotes. I have a matching one. And then we took a little selfie. I was too like, oh my God, you're standing next to me, you're so tall, to think about doing a silly one, but like, it's cute. And he said something like, oh, I hope you have a great day, like enjoy your weekend. And I said, oh my guy, I'm here for you, like I'm gonna be seeing you all day, prepare to be sick of me. And he was like, oh, I can't wait, I look forward to it. And I was like, don't be nice, oh my God. Then it was time for the BonKai picture, and I was so excited because I had already met Kat before, like I said, and she's the sweetest, so I knew that was going to be great. I walked into that one, and they were standing where, like, when I walked in, I'm, like, walking towards Chris, and Kat kind of was, like, to the side already, like, sort of in position. So I get in between the two of them, and we go to, like, take the picture, but there were, like, fans blowing on us. My hair, I have so much of it, it weighs nothing, okay? It's, like, freaking cotton candy, so it's, like, flying around in the wind, and Kat was immediately like, wait, her hair. And she starts trying to fix my hair and like smooth it back into position. And I was like, I'm gonna have a heart attack. What is going on? Chris started saying something like, it could be a moment. We could use this. And so then they're both like giggling and like laughing. They're so adorable together. I was fighting for my life, okay? I said to him, like, watch out, it will get caught in your beard. That made him laugh, and he was like, oh God, it will. And so we got the fan under control. That took up time, though, okay? And that is gonna be important, because that was like 20 seconds, I don't know. We get the picture taken, and I let go of him and turn to Kat, and I'm like, could I hug you? Because I wasn't going to see her again. She did a panel, like, later on in the day, and I was like, that's going to overlap with my Jokai picture, and also, it's going to be so hot. I'm simply not going to go outside again after the Gemini panel. I just knew that in my heart. So I asked her for a hug. She said, oh my God, of course. She gave me a big hug, and she was like, it's so good to see you. Like, I love you. Hope you're doing good. You look so pretty. And then as she's letting me go, she's like, hold on, you smell so good. And I'm like, so, what? She's not wrong, okay? I got a new perfume oil from like my favorite new witchy store in Chicago, and it does smell so freaking good. But Bonnie Bennett approved perfume. Are we joking? So that was crazy, and I'm like sort of short-circuiting in that moment. She's holding my hands to keep me in front of her to ask me what it is, where I got it, what's the smell. I'm like, sorry, you think I smell good? And while I'm like processing that information, the handlers start yelling at me from the left. So I can like see them out of the corner of my eye being like, hello, come on. And I was like, oh, wow. I have a fear of like getting in trouble. So immediately, like these are like high pressure situations for me, not even because I'm standing in front of people that I admire and look up to. That really, so secondary, has very little to do with it. I was feeling fine being next to them and talking to them. The handlers screaming and yelling. All of a sudden it's like, wow, I feel like I'm in the wrong place. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm being annoying, like all of it, all over me. So then I was like, oh, I have to get out of here. But Kat Graham is holding my hands and trying to get me to tell her what my perfume is. And I'm like, girl, I don't even remember what my name is right now. And to make it worse, Chris has his hand on my shoulder behind me, and he's going, hey, let's calm down. It's Kat's fault, trying to like laugh it off. I'm not laughing, buddy. I'm freaking out. I'm gonna have a panic attack. I think I managed to be like, it's like a blend of stuff. It's mostly amber. And she was like, oh, that's my new favorite smell. It smells so good. And then let me go. And like before I could turn back to Chris, because again, his hand is on my shoulder. He's telling them to stop yelling at me. I was gonna see if I could hug him too, but no, they're like, get out. You need to leave. And so I was like essentially taken from the room and like taken out. And again, I just want to say this was maybe a minute, 15 seconds tops. Like it was not a long time, and the lines weren't long. And I understand that we're on a schedule. We need to do things a certain way. Everybody would take like endless amounts of time if they could. I don't even want 5 minutes, right? I know we're all busy here, but we all paid so much money for these moments. So you could maybe not yell at me when she's asking me a question. I wasn't talking to her. I didn't say anything that she didn't ask me to tell her, okay? And I almost didn't even get that out because you were yelling at me so bad that I was having a freaking moment. Anyway, the picture turned out so cute though. Look at mom and dad. I fucking can't. Are you joking? I need much more time than the 30 seconds that are left in this, so go to part 2 and I'll tell you about the Gemini panel. Bye! Part 2 of I Was Feeling Epic 3 from last weekend, meeting Kat Graham, Chris Wood, and all the Parkers. So I come down from the high of the BonKai photo. I'm like, I'm cool, I'm chill. I'm so fine. I'm not upset that I got yelled at. That didn't freak me out or scare me or give me an adrenaline rush. I'm great. And I'm totally ready to brave 85-degree weather. Then it was time for the Gemini panel, which I was so excited about, okay? I know that I said I watched the show in 2016. I was not deep in the fandom until really like the last year and a half or so. I like made a Tumblr and have like officially like joined and started writing fic and stuff. I've been quietly like a little lurker on the outskirts for a while now. But I don't even know the last time they were all in one place together. I don't even know if I've ever seen fan pictures of him with Jodie before. Like, did they do that? Somebody tell me, because I'd love to see them if they're out there somewhere. The panel was so much fun. Big theme on horses. I'm not going to elaborate on that further. It was a brave girl, and when Ariel said it was time to ask questions, I popped out of my seat like a crazy person, and I was second in line, all right? I was ready. I get up there, and I'm like, hi, it's so cool to be looking at you guys. Oh my god, the Parkers are like my favorite family. They all are like so sweet about it, but then Chris gets like the little evil look in his eyes, and he's like, everybody just 10-foot radius around her, okay? And I was like, stop. You can't make jokes with me. You can't make jokes while looking at me. How do you expect me to keep talking, sir? I handled it though, and I got my question out, which was essentially like me telling them I wrote a book inspired by Bonnie and Kai and the Parkers. I know what my headcanons are and the things that I changed as far as like life goes for them. What do you guys think life was like before the incident? And Ariel is like, wait, hold, did you say you wrote a book? And I'm like, yes, I'm querying it. It hasn't been published yet, but I did. This is the thing I can't stop thinking about. Chris is like, who's the hero? And I was like, like literally could not get the words out. I said you, but I like was like, he goes, Kai? Yes! And like fist bumped. I don't even know how to tell you how that made me feel. Like, literal, just like, That's why I came here today. Everything, worth it. Thank you for that. And then he circles it back to the question and is like, okay, so you want to know what life was like for the Parkers before you saw us for the first time? And I was like, yes. And I like rambled a little bit about like the Christmas sweater photo, if you know, you know. And that, I think, is where I lost Jodie, because she was deeply confused and did not know what I was talking about. And it's because she's not in the picture. Like, it's the young Jo actress in that moment. So Chris was trying to like look at her and like lock in and talk and like make it make sense. She was lost. She did not know what we were talking about. Chris B, when I watched the video back, he keeps like lifting his mic and then lowering it, like trying to say stuff but not getting it out in time, and then sort of just giving up and trying again. Penelopey thought I said Harper family, which is so funny. So she's deeply confused, but smiling and enjoying me talking. Like, she's so sweet, so deeply confused. She did not know what we were talking about either. Chris, thankfully, knew the picture I was talking about because he remembered it and was like, right, the one with the kids, like, not Luke and Liv, but like baby Luke and Liv. And I was like, yes, that one. And I said something about like how I've heard him say before that like Kai was probably a really weird kid. And it's not that I disagree with him on that, but I'm just like, how weird are we talking? Like, you don't think he was like evil running around in the house, right? Because how does that track? Like, specifically in regards to the photo, he said that he felt like it was more along the lines of like, oh, stand over there and look happy, like pretend for the camera, which I was like, thank you. Yeah, that's, Penelopey answered for her and Chris B and said like, we probably didn't even know anything was wrong. Like, we were probably oblivious until the day that, like, we woke up and suddenly Kai was evil. We were like, oh, he sucks now. And Chris started to say something. He, like, locked in with me and was just, like, in defense of Kai, not his actions, but him. And before he could finish his sentence, Jodie from the other end of the line is like, he was a weirdo, which just sent everybody into a spiral. Chris is like, oh, stop it, and like tried to keep going, but it was too late. Everybody started going like, yeah, he was weird, guy's fucking weird, oh, la 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 la, and I was like, oh no, because oh my god, Chris is so soft-spoken. Like, if you've ever seen interviews with him before, if you talk over that man, he'll just stop talking. Like, he's not gonna fight you, he'll just give up. And so that's what happened. He just stopped, and it turned into Jodie being like, yeah, he was probably killing puppies. I bet that's what he was doing before we took the picture. I bet he killed a puppy. And, like, she was being silly. Like, circle back. I need to know what he was gonna say. I'm begging you. Thankfully, there was like a final lull in the conversation, and so he turned back to me and was like, I think that Kai probably wasn't as good at things that Joe was really good at, and so she was like the more favorite, you know, and that led to him slowly but surely being like, I'm gonna kill everybody, I guess. And then he like settled back in his chair like, I got it out, and beside him Crispy was like, yeah, but with like a deep longing to be loved. And I just was like, as I'm walking back to my seat, I don't know which one it was, but one of the girls was like, I feel like we didn't answer that very well. And then somebody else was like, no, we did. We kind of like reenacted it a little bit. And I was like, two of you answered it. Two of you answered it really well, but it's fine. There were also like issues with the speakers. So like there kept being things where like people weren't hearing us correctly. Remember how I said Penelopey thought I said Harper's instead of Parker's? So it was great. And I got to like look at them and tell them about the book, which was just like truly one of the coolest things ever. Like, I am never getting over that. After the panel, I went back inside, and that's when I met a couple people, because people were like, wait, you're the girl who wrote the book. And that was really fun, like getting to like talk to people about it and like show them the cover and the synopsis. It's just, oh my god, it was so fun. And then it was time for the Jokai picture, and I was just like, yes, this is incredible. But if you'll remember, I didn't get to hug him last time. So I was like, woman on a mission. Like, I have these little bracelets that I made for them that were pink and green for Glenda and Alphaba, and they said Gemini dropout on them. I know, very cute. I walk in with those, and I'm like, I made you guys these. I know they're gonna yell at me. We were not supposed to like give them anything. And I know things are done a certain way, but you're telling me you don't have like 5 seconds for me to hand them a bracelet and them to put it on their wrist or put it in their pocket or whatever, like God forbid hold it in their hand while we take the picture. It's just like the rules are very silly, and I know again that they're in place to like keep us from like going way over the time and stuff, but it's like the lines were not long. There were not that many people there on Friday. It was busy, but it was not that busy. Like, we can calm down. But I said to Chris, like, can I please hug you this time? And he was like, oh, come here. And then I like stepped out of him into like the picture with Jody, bumped into her and was like, because I'm from the South, oh my God, sorry, hun. And she was like, she's so pretty. She's so pretty in person, and she's so nice. She's very like stoic, but like comforting stoic. Like, she doesn't feel like mean or anything. She's just like kind of quiet. So as we're going to take the picture though, like Chris is like putting arm around me to take picture, and he goes, we're gonna read your fan fiction, like I'm so excited. And I was like, no, it's original. And then I hear him above me go, what? And we take the picture. While like it was happening, I was like, oh Jesus Christ, I bet we were both making faces. Somehow we locked in and both smiled at the right moment, but we were talking like a second before the camera flash went off. So then I like let go of Jody and turned, and Chris like had his hand on my shoulder, and I'm like, you know, standing in front of him. Like, I blacked out a little bit, guys. He's very tall and his eyes are really pretty shade of blue. Such a weird element to it, because it's like he's so chill and normal, and there's no like actual anxiety or fear talking to him, but like half my brain is going like, you're looking at Kai Parker right now. And you can't, like, you can separate it as much as you want to, but it's still weird. I'm not gonna tell you it's not weird. But anyway, I said, like, it's original. Like, it was, like, deeply inspired by them. I knew that I didn't really have time to explain it to him, because he's looking at me with, like, the scrunched brow, confused face. And I was like, you can't make that expression in my direction. Like, what is going on? I said, like, we'll talk. I'm gonna bring one to you. Like, I have a copy for you. I'm gonna give it to you at your autograph table. And he was like, okay, I'm so excited. Like, can't wait. Like, you're gonna tell me more. And I was like, yes, I'm gonna tell you more. And he was like, okay, cool. And so then I, like, turned to Jody frantically, and I'm like, it was so nice to meet you, because I didn't really even talk to her. Like, I'm so sorry, girl. That was not on purpose. I just knew we had, like, seconds before they snatched me out by the back of my collar. So I ran. Here's the picture, though. Like, the fact that they both wore black, just for me, I can't handle that. Also, I manifested this man not wearing a cap, okay? Because not only did he wear a cap on Saturday, it was a freaking Yankees cap, and my husband is a Red Sox fan. I manifested that. I did that for me. I heavily contemplated going and getting an autograph with her, because in so many ways, like, Joe is as important to me as Kai, and I kind of wish that I had, like, had a little bit more time to, like, express that to her, because I feel like it definitely seemed like I was only there for him. And it's like the fact that I got pictures with Kat and Chris and Jody and Chris, like, I can't tell you, like, that, those are literally, like, my favorite characters from the show. Like, that is why I watch TVD, is for those 3 people specifically. It was just like the best. And I just wish I could have expressed that to her, but I really wanted him to sign my book first, and I didn't have anything else like ready to be signed. And I was definitely like full of adrenaline the whole day, so I was not thinking clearly. Like when I look back on the day now, I'm like, I was level-headed and fine, but also I was like not. I definitely wasn't thinking 100% clearly, because had I been, I would have remembered that the letter that I wrote for him that was in the cover of the book wasn't sealed. We could have very easily like taken the letter out, written my fanfiction handle for him, because he was so excited about fanfiction. Sometimes people are so weird about that. I separate heavily actor from character. So when I'm writing like Bonnie and Kai fanfiction, I'm not thinking about Chris and Kat. I'm not making it weird. I'm talking about Kai and Bonnie. Like that's what I'm doing. The way he reacted to it makes me think that he feels that way about it too. So I was like, damn, if you want Kai's the hero fanfiction, while he's also deeply scary, because two things can be true at once, and the duality of him is what makes me like him so much, here you go, babe. But I wasn't thinking, so I didn't do that. Part 3 is going to be doing the autograph and also meeting Penelopey. Okay, I'm sorry. I told you it was going to be long. I got a lot to say. Okay, part 3 of I Was Feeling Epic 3 from last weekend. Hopefully this is going to be the last thing. I'm going to talk about my autograph time with Chris and also meeting Penelopey Mitchell. For anybody who doesn't know, I am a writer, and the whole reason why I did any of this was because I wanted to go and give Kat and Chris copies of my BonKai inspired book, The Forgotten Legacy. Don't mind the cover. It's got like a weird texture on it, and it smears so easily. It's so annoying. We will not be doing this when it's actually published, okay? Right now I'm querying it, so this is just like a beta copy essentially that I had made for them, but it looks like a real book. I wanted it to be like easy for them to travel with. Like I didn't want to give them like a giant printed copy of the manuscript in a binder, you know? So we made these. It's so cool seeing it in print form. Spoiler, it's book 1 of what will hopefully be an 8-book series following my version of the Parkers. So like it starts with my Kai OC and then goes from there down the line of the siblings. But my Kai OC and my Bonnie OC stay relevant, like they're the main characters the whole way through. Also, their names are Eli and Rhea. After how crazy everything went last time with Kat and how chaotic that ended up being, I learned my lesson. So I had the ticket ready for him. I was all good to go. I had my copy for him to sign and his copy to keep with like a little letter that I'd written in case I like clammed up and didn't say anything, which, spoiler, is sort of what happened, but also not at all. I know I mentioned it jokingly when we were talking about the panel, but this man is so soft-spoken, like so quiet and kind. He has the most grounded energy of anybody I've ever met in my life. Like I was astounded. It's literally like an aura around him. And so I had all this like energy in me. And then the second I'm in front of him, it's like, it all calmed into nothing. And I was like, I don't even know what I need to tell you. I don't remember what is happening. But he was really sweet. And like when I walked up, he was like, "Ah, it's you again." And I was like, let's not do that, buddy, because I'm not handling the joking very well. I was like, it's me. And so they slid the book down to him like with the cover open like this so he would know where to sign. And he like is holding it and he's like, "This is the book." And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, that's the book." And okay, when I gave the book to Kat's energy was at like a 15. So she was like, "Oh my god, a book, and like holding it and hugging it, like truly like freaking out with me. And that made my energy go up. So then she and I were like talking a mile a minute, and it was a lot. With him though, he's like, I don't even, just gentle is like the only word I can think to like describe it to you. But like the way he was like interacting with it and like holding it and like looking at it, just like so soft, so gentle. I was like, you're gonna make me cry just the way you're touching it. And so I did manage to say like, yeah, so it's, you know, original. So it's my versions of them essentially. And I knew that I wanted to give like Kai the second chance that he didn't get. That was like really important to me. And when I tell you that this man like melted, the only word for it, he was like sitting up and like holding the book, and then he just went and he was like, "Thank you so much." And I was like, yeah, like I can't tell you how much Kai means to me. Like he means so much to me. And then he's like quiet because he's holding it and trying to like, you know, think of what he was gonna write to sign. And I could not keep talking. I could not overwhelm him. Everything in me was like, if you make this man uncomfortable, you will never forgive yourself. Just be quiet. So that's what I did. I just enjoyed the moment of finally getting to give it to him. Like, oh, it was so surreal. It was so cool. Like, same reaction in me to like seeing it in Kat's hands. Like, it was just, like their characters inspired a whole world in my head. a whole world, whole new sets of these characters, because like that's the thing, right? Like Eli and Kai aren't one for one, Rhea and Bonnie aren't one for one. There's distinct like differences to them and stuff, but at the end of the day, like without Kai and Bonnie, like I don't know if they'd be here. I don't know if I would have ever like wanted to make them or tell a story like theirs. That's so sick. That's so sick and twisted that I got to give them the book. Like, oh my god. But then, yeah, that was it. So he finished signing it and, like, sweetly, like, handed it to me and was like, thank you so much again. Because I, like, showed him. I was like, this one's for you. Like, this is your copy. There's a letter. And he was like, okay, thank you. Like, thank you so much. Like, this is so cool. And I just was like, what do I even do? Thank you, dude. Thank you. After that, though, I was good to go. I was like, I need some water desperately. I need a snack. And I'm going to meet Penelopey soon. Now, the energy in her booth, infinitely more relaxed, okay? So much more chill. I wish that what happened in her booth had happened the whole day. Like, it was very clear that we were approaching the end and they were so much less worried about schedules and stuff. But, like, guys, please, I'm begging you to let people have just, like, 30 more seconds. But I walk into her booth and she's, like, so bubbly and happy. Also, so tall. I was entirely unprepared for how tall she is. That threw me off so bad. She's like bouncing from person to person and like taking pictures, and the booth like smelled like her perfume. She literally smelled like a magical flower meadow. I was like, you're a Disney princess. I go up to her, and at the same time, like I said like, oh my god, your hair looks so pretty today. She said to me, oh my god, your skirt is so pretty. And I was like, what? And then it got worse because like while I'm processing that she just said my skirt is pretty and saying thank you, she's saying thank you to me about her hair, and then she just hugs me. Like, legitimately just was like, oh my god, and, like, gave me a hug. And I was like, this is what's happening. So I'm hugging Penelopey all of a sudden and thinking to myself, how did we get here? What's happening? And then the picture, when I show you guys, you'll see, like, we're still, like, holding on to each other because she, like, her arms around my neck gave me a hug and then, like, held on to me for the photo. And it looks like we're going, like, to prom or something. It's so funny. But it was just like the sweetest, most wholesome interaction ever. And so we take the picture and we're both like giggling in it because it was silly. Like it was such a fun moment. And as I'm like pulling back to look at her, I said, you know, this is like literally so cool. Like Liv is truly one of my favorite girls. She's going like, oh, thank you. Like, that's so cool. And then like she sees backtracking a little, I forgot my necklace that I always wear, so I had to get a necklace once I got there because I felt naked without it. It was awesome. So I had like Emily's necklace on, and she sees that and is like, oh my god, your necklace, like, wow, this is so pretty. And I went like this while she was like looking at it, so then she could see my rings and my bracelets. She was like a cat. It was so cute. She was just like, oh my god, these are so pretty. What's this? Oh, what's this? Like looking at everything. And it was just so stinking cute. And I had like an ascendant pin on like the strap of my bra over here because my spaghetti strap on my tank top was too skinny. And she sees that and she's like, wait, what is this? And I'm like, oh, my ascendant pin. And she's like looking at it and touching it. She like yanked her hand back and was like, oh my god, I just touched your boob. I'm so sorry. And I was like, girl, you're so fine, it's okay. It was literally like meeting up with a girlfriend in the bathroom. Like that is like the most, like what I can equate it to. It was just like the sweetest, cutest, most wholesome interaction ever. Like, oh god. So then like I'm like backing away from her because again I'm so conscious of time and stressed and I don't want to get yelled at again. So I'm like backing up and I'm saying like, thank you, like it was so nice to meet you, like this is just like so cool. And she's like, oh no, it was so nice to meet you, I'm sorry I'm weird. And I just was like, no, you're not weird, you're so funny. Oh, that was like honestly like such a highlight of my day because Liv in so many ways is like the closest thing I have to a TVD self-insert. Like that's my girl right there. So like getting to have that much time with her and just like such a sweet, like it was just so precious. It made me like giddy. You can see me talking about it. Like it was just the sweetest thing ever. It was so fucking cute. Like look at this. Are you joking? Look how we're holding each other. It was just too cute. I can't. Something got said. I can't remember when. It was like right before she started like gushing about my rings, I think. And I said something like about Liv like being one of my favorites. And she said, well, you have her hair. And I was like, oh my god, I know. Yeah, twins. And it was like such a cute, just, it was so precious. I can't. But yeah, from there, I went and watched the end of the last panel that had Chris B in it. And then I went downtown. And like I said, adrenaline was flowing all day. So I had to decompress for like a solid 30 minutes in my car. Like I needed time to process everything that had happened. I'm still processing it. This is me processing externally through you guys. So So I parked for a little while and then I walked around downtown, and what I did last time that I felt like really grounded me to the end of the day, so I decided to go and do it again, was sitting in one of like the park benches underneath. There's like a really big giant tree in the middle of like the town square. Listen, as many times as I've watched the show, I've never clocked that tree in shots. I'm sure she's there, but she's freaking huge, and I just feel like Bonnie should have had a stronger attachment to that tree. So I sat under the tree. I had my playlist in. I think I was listening to my Kai playlist. Pretty sure. Yeah, because I was listening to Gem Blossoms. So I'm like sitting under the tree, listening to some music, just like vibing. I watched the sunset. It was so nice. And it was just like the most perfect end to such a good day. I feel like I covered everything I needed to cover. If you have questions, let me know. Also, if you want to read the first 5 chapters of my book, I'll have my AO3 handle down below. If you're not into original fiction, I have a really good BonKai fic as well that's finished, and then 2 more work in progresses. But the finished one, that's my baby, okay? While we're here, if you just listened to 30 minutes of me, even at double speed talking, and you enjoyed it and liked my voice and want to hear me yap about TVD, come check me out on YouTube, Fantasy Fixations. I'll have it below as well. I have full recaps of the whole show. I'm working on the originals right now. It's going poorly. I'm not having as much fun, but I'm doing it for you guys. I also have a 4-hour-long video on the Gemini Coven. So, like, if you also like Kai, bestie, come on, come talk to me. We need to be friends. Okay, bye!